Today's tutorial is about integrating quotes, how to properly use quotes in your writing. First, why should we use quotes in our writing? And there are a lot of reasons. One is to prove that our ideas are sound, to illustrate our point of view, to emphasize a point, to provide an example or evidence, and lastly, to show an author's intention. Our goals as writers is to use a variety of techniques to integrate quotations in our writing. Integrating or blending or introducing quotations means to weave the author's words into our own sentences. Quotes should never stand alone in our writing. All quotes must be integrated and explained. The following are 4 techniques that you can use to integrate quotations in your writing. First, we need to begin with our original direct quote from Gail Rosenwald Smith's The Wife Beater. More than 4 million women are victims of severe assaults by boyfriends and husbands each year. Please note the proper MLA in-text citation with the author's last name and the page number. Our first technique is to introduce the quotation with a complete sentence and a colon. In The Wife Beater, Rosenwald Smith provides statistical evidence in order to prove that domestic violence is a serious issue. More than 4 million women are victims of severe assaults by boyfriends and husbands each year. This section in yellow is the complete sentence that is followed by the colon. Please note that when the author's last name is stated in the sentence, it does not need to be repeated in the in-text citation. The second technique is to use an introductory phrase that is not a complete sentence separated from the quotation with a comma. The author emphasizes the seriousness of domestic violence when she claims more than 4 million women are victims of severe assaults by boyfriends and husbands each year. The section in yellow is not a complete sentence and therefore must be followed by a comma. When you are integrating quotes, it is important that you use rhetorically accurate verbs and that you vary your verb choices throughout your written piece. Here are some examples of verbs that you can use in place of states, says, or shows. Our third technique is to make the quotation a part of your own sentence without any punctuation between your own words and the words you are quoting. The author declares the seriousness of domestic violence when she argues that more than 4 million women are victims of severe assaults by boyfriends and husbands each year. When you use the word that or as before a quotation, you do not need punctuation. The last and most challenging technique is to use short quotations, only a few words, as part of your own sentence. Rosenwald Smith reveals to her audience the shocking statistic that annually 4 million women fall victim to severe assaults by boyfriends and husbands to prove that domestic violence is a serious issue. Some punctuation reminders. Please notice that there are only 2 punctuation marks that are used to introduce quotations, the comma and the colon. Note that a semicolon is never used to introduce quotations. In summary, let's review the techniques. Our first technique is to use a complete sentence followed by a colon and then the quotation. Our second technique is to use an introductory phrase followed by a verb and then the quotation. If the word just before the quotation is a verb indicating someone uttering the quoted words, use a comma. Make sure you use rhetorically accurate verbs and vary your verb selection. Avoid overused verbs such as says, states, shows, discusses, talks, and/or points out. Rule 3. Use your own sentence with a verb and that or as, and then the quotation. Remember that there is no punctuation if the word that or as comes before the quotation. And lastly, rule number 4, your sentence, the quoted words, and then complete your sentence. You now have 4 techniques that you can use to integrate quotes within your essay. Again, you want to use a variety of techniques and you want to use a variety of verbs. Please refer back to this tutorial to assist you when you're integrating quotes within your written work.